Hello, I'm Daniel Herbert, the managing editor of Boxing News, and this is Flashback, where we look back at a week of an issue from many years ago. This week is April 22nd, 1966. Our front page story is Clay Cooper is on. It's about Cassius Clay, as we called him, signing to defend the World Heavyweight title against Henry Cooper at the Arsenal FC ground, Highbury in London on May 21st, 1966. And the full story is inside on page 2. Filled out all the various details. Harry Levine was the promoter who'd secured this coup, getting Clay to come to England to defend his title. We're reporting that it's the first World Heavyweight title fight to be held in Britain since 1908, when Tommy Burns knocked out Jack Palmer in 4 rounds in London. So you can see what a massive event it was. First time in 58 years, World Heavyweight title fight. Cassius Clay had signed the contract in Chicago the previous Saturday. The Highbury football stadium, or soccer stadium for Americans, could hold between 65,000 and 70,000 for soccer. But for the World Heavyweight title fight, the crowd would be limited to about 40,000 people, with the ring out in the middle of the pitch. In terms of finances, Henry Cooper would be getting in the region of £50,000, we said. The exact purse wasn't released, but that was around 50,000. Cassius Clay, as champion, would receive about £100,000 in purse money, plus £50,000 in what we called ancillary rights, which would be TV rights and radio rights, things like that. We said that Henry would train at the Thomas and Becket gym in the Old Kent Road, London, which was his usual training place, while he would do his road work at Welling in Kent. We said that Clay would pick his training quarters when he arrived here with trainer-manager Angelo Dundee and a whole entourage of sparring partners and what we called a dozen sponsors. Interesting thing is that the champion had only just defended his title 3 weeks earlier against George Chuvalo, and here he was signing for a fight 1 month away. April 22nd is this issue date, and the fight was May 21st, just 4 weeks away. It's the time when Cassius Clay was incredibly active. It's a very different era, obviously. Of course, the two, Clay and Cooper, had met before in 1963, June 63, when Henry Cooper famously dropped Cassius Clay with a left hook, but then Clay came back and cut him to ribbons, and Clay was a winner in 5 rounds. And that was the main news of the week. There's some interesting stuff further inside. Turn to page 11 in our worldwide results column. Interesting as results were shown April 15th in Helsinki, Finland. A welterweight 10-rounder saw Jarmo Berglof draw over 10 rounds with Joe Brown. Now, the thing is that Joe Brown had been world lightweight champion from 1956 to 1962, but by 66 he was getting on and just travelling the world, making money off his name. Clearly nowhere near as good as he had been. He had been a very good fighter, but definitely on the way down. He fought Jarmo Berglof, who was nothing special. Interestingly, the fight was initially given as a win on points of Berglof, but then the Finnish Boxing Association changed the result to a draw over 10 rounds. So obviously something strange happened, but we don't go into any more details as to what exactly occurred there, but the win was changed to a draw. So the local Finnish Association didn't do their local hero any favours there. But all the same, it's sad to see Joe Brown fighting a complete no-mark like Berglof, given he had been a very good fighter, world champion for 6 years in his prime. Another story from New York was that Floyd Patterson had been declared physically fit to return to boxing. Now, the previous November, Patterson had been stopped in 12 rounds by Cassius Clay in a world title fight. After that fight, he said he'd been hampered by a back injury, so he underwent medical treatment and didn't know whether he could come back, and he had to wait until the doctors gave him the all clear. Obviously, they'd done that. This was now the summer of '66, and as it turned out, Floyd Patterson would fight on all the way to 1972, when I think he was 37. Now, Patterson had been world heavyweight champion himself from 56 to 1960 when he ran into Sonny Liston, but he was still going. Maybe he wasn't as good as he had been, but he's still a good fighter, enough to be a world heavyweight title contender. Although he could never beat Cassius Clay. He fought him twice, and Clay O'Reilly won twice. But there's still speculation here about Patterson's next fight on his comeback might be against Doug Jones or possibly another top-ranked heavyweight. But as I say, he went on all the way to 72. good fighter, but never became world champion again. And that was Flashback for April 22nd, 1966.